Hello traders, this is Damien again. I'm very excited about this training that we're about to start. Over the next few weeks we're going to be making different videos covering different aspects of the trading style that I have put together to navigate my way through the markets. I apologize up front, this microphone is a lot more sensitive. My other recording equipment was having issues with the software, and so we're on to this. You may hear other noises in the background because it is a much more sensitive microphone. Having said that, we're going to move forward, and we're going to talk about structure analysis and structure expectation. This is probably the simplest, most misunderstood, non-used analysis that exists, and I tell you that it's the most important. It is your roadmap to the markets. It is a roadmap to where price is going. It tells you with a very high degree of probability, as you've seen from the forum, what price intends to do next. Now, it doesn't really matter whether you use every little swing or use the more obvious ones. It's still going to get you to the same place, because on the short term, whether an expectation fails, the next one will lead you, and they'll all guide you to the same place. So don't feel like you can mess this up or you're not using the right swing. It doesn't really matter, okay? But there are a couple of things that will help you understand whether you're in a complex correction or whether your expectation has failed, okay? And the best way to do that is by looking at the main high, clear low, okay? Those are the important swings, as those are the ones that are obviously stand out, and they help you understand whether you're correcting within that high and low or whether that high or low has been broken and the expectation has failed. Okay, very clear distinction. So let's get started here. This is the beginning of time. Let's forget what's behind us and concentrate on what's in front of us. The market has produced a high. The market has now produced a new structure low. So moving this down here, okay, our expectation is for price to produce a lower high. And that lower high has been achieved right here. We know this because we have the swing and we can see what happened there. Okay, but I'm going to show you how to achieve this moving forward without the benefit of hindsight. Okay, now from this lower high we expect a new structure low. Clear high, clear low. This is the new structure low, and prices come down here. Our expectation from this is a lower high, which price achieves. So I'm going to come here, I copy and paste, and I'm going to move it here. Our expectation from this is a new structure low, which, oops, Jesus Christ, I'm sorry guys. New structure low. From this, our expectation is a lower high. Now it looks like we're about to get here. After all, we did come back to an area of structure, and price is showing an interest to sell. Now there's a lot of buying pressure here, a lot of buying strength, so chances are that probably wasn't going to work out. But we'll get into that later on in the training, okay? Right now, price broke and made a new structure high from here. So now the expectation has changed. We are no longer looking for new structure lows because price produced a new structure high. The market has spoken to us here at this precise moment and said, I cannot go lower, I will not go lower, I want to go higher. Okay, and the market produces, however you want to see this. Like I said, it doesn't really matter. Clear low, clear high, doesn't matter. This could be looked at as a higher low and a new structure high. Okay, but remember what I tell you. When you have the information in front of you, look at the most clearest high and low to navigate your way through the structure analysis. Our expectation from this is what? A higher low, which we get. Okay, and then a new structure high. So we're going to copy and paste here. Okay, our expectation from this is a higher low. Now the market seems to produce a higher low in around this level, and now the expectation will be a new structure high. So we can label this as a higher low. Okay, now if this market was to find a lower high here and push down and make a new structure low, okay, we've identified this as the main high the main low. Until this low is broken, our expectation of a new structural high has to remain valid. It cannot be anything else, okay? But our expectation from here, okay, is a new structure high. Now we'll get into whether we expect deep corrections, shallow corrections when we talk about order flow, okay? Right now we're only concentrating on new structure highs and new structure lows and what the market should produce next, okay? So moving price forward, we see a little bit of weakness here, right? We see price coming up, not really being too aggressive moving up. What does this tell us? Well, this tells us that we may be in for a deeper correction, okay? And price produces that deep correction and then moves on to achieve the expectation of the new structure high. So now we achieve this. Now price may not be done here yet. Let's see. It looks like now it's getting pretty much done, and we're going to have our correction soon. Okay, so now what is our expectation? A higher low and a new structure high. So let's get our higher low ready. So we're going to come in here. Price corrects pretty close to where I said price was pretty much done. You see, that comes later in the training where you can anticipate to what extent price should extend and how deep price should correct. We do this based off expectations in order flow. Okay, so now we expected the higher low. Looks like this is the area where price is probably going to come in. Okay, I can tell you by the order flow that we're probably going to get another complex correction around here. But the expectation, notice how I said we're going to get a complex correction based on what I'm seeing in the order flow. And we're starting to see that. Labored climb, the bears wanting to come in, okay? So far, but we expect a new structure high. Why do we expect a new structure high? Well, because that is the expectation. And although price is now showing strength to the downside, okay, and even if this higher low is taken out, okay, we're still within the confines of this high and this low. And until this low is broken, our expectation is a new structure high. Doesn't matter that all this is happening. It just means weakness. Okay, but it does not mean our expectations need to change. Now we can use this short-term order flow to help us understand whether we're breaking down really bad or things are still within line. We still haven't broken this low here. We've tested it. Price has found some pretty good support at this level. Okay, it's consistent with some structure to the left. So it will be interesting to see how price comes out of this. But what is our expectation? A new structure high until this low is taken out. Okay, now what has happened here? Prices tried to make a new structure high, could not. Tried to make a new structure high, could not. Tried to make a new structure high and came and was not able to. So this is very telling to us and tells us that our expectation of a new structure high should have occurred already. Price should not have come this far, okay, deteriorated to the downside, broken short-term structure, and come this far down. That should not have happened, okay? Nonetheless, our expectation is a new structure high. It will probably fail. There's a lot of weakness here, okay, on the bulls. This is where they were strongest, the first impulse up. They were not able to do that, and they just weakened ever since. So now that they're way down here, our expectation is pretty given for that new structure high, okay? But we cannot change that until the expectation changes, okay? And we're going to see what happens here. The expectation will probably fail, okay? But until that happens, now that expectation has failed. But we knew in this area here that our expectation was pretty grim and that it was probably not going to happen. But we had to hold on to that to that expectation until that expectation failed. Okay? And now that price has broken structure to the downside, okay, we can label this as the highest part. We can't label anything else because now we have a new structure low. Okay, so we have a new structure high and a new structure low, and the short-term order flow did what? Lead the way, right? Price acceleration, break a short-term structure. that happened here. Okay, lower high expectation, new structure low. Like I said, it all takes you to the same place. It all leads you to that new structure low. So one of the things that I do, and it's important to do, is to use that short-term structure to see, okay, whether those long-term expectations are realistic or just broken down. And once this happened, what did I tell you? It was pretty grim, right? It was almost certain for sure that this expectation was going to fail. But I could not make that determination until it failed. Okay, very important. Big difference, okay? Now price comes down here, makes a new structure low, and that is an expectation failure, okay? Right here, okay? Now, however you would have looked at this, whether this was a new structure high, high or low, retest of the highs, or lower high, and a new structure low here, it doesn't matter. It's all going to get you to the same place. I just rather use clear moves, clear swings, to make it easier for myself to understand what is happening and what is my expectation longer term. Okay, I don't care what my immediate expectations are, because I'm not trading the short-term order flow. I use it to confirm what I want to trade. Okay, so now what's my expectation from here? It is a lower high. Okay, so moving price forward, we're going to look for, this looks like where the correction is happening. We expect a correction and then a new structure low. Okay, now what did price do here? Okay, on the short term, what did it do? It broke structure, right? It broke structure here. Now we do expect, because we made a weak new structure low, we expect a deep correction. So this may not, I'm not saying that price is going to make an overall new structure high. It most certainly can, but the expectation is a lower high. Okay, and price went right on through and produced a new structure high. Okay, so that's another expectation that failed, and that's quite okay. It doesn't matter that the expectations fail, because what you do is you readjust. What is your expectation now? My expectation is a higher low. Okay, and it looks like this is where we're going to correct now. Okay, now we could have, however you choose to do this, remember, it is not important how detailed you are. It's going to get you to the same place. Okay, just don't drive yourself crazy, having an expectation every single little swing. Okay, use the main ones and make the work easier, okay, for you, as opposed to more challenging because you're trying to keep track of all of these micro little swings. Okay, not that important. Okay, our expectation now is a new structure high. Again, we fall back into the same situation as we had here. Price produced a higher low, wasn't able to come up with a new structure high on the first attempt, came down slowly, a couple attempts to come back at, couldn't made a new structure low on the short term. Does that mean that we're in for a break? It could be, but right now we're in a complex correction. Okay, and price comes on and achieves the expectation. That's why it's important to understand what swing you're working from, so that this type of price action doesn't mislead you into short-term expectations failure and chasing small little order flow. Okay, those are the trades that are going to kill you. Those are the expectations that are going to hurt you. Okay, because that short-term stuff will lead you to the long-term, but it has a higher failure rate, not because it's noise, not because of any other reason other than there's just more frequency, more short-term price action that is complex corrections of a larger swing. Okay, I'd rather do that, understand where my boundaries are, what swing I'm correcting from, have an expectation on that, and then live through this and understand what needs to happen. Where do I expect the correction overall? With this much strength pushing price up, were you expecting a deep correction? No. Okay, the answer is no. You're expecting a light to mid-range correction. There's a lot of strength here. Okay, it's unusual to have a lot of strength coming up and a lot of strength coming down. Can it happen? Yes. Does it happen? Yes. But it's not the norm. It is not the customary. Okay. So now pushing price forward, we've made that new structure high. Okay, let's keep track of the failures here. Let's see. Let's keep track of the failures. Failure. Failure, that's 2. 2. So let's put number 2 up here so we don't lose track. 2. Okay. Now pushing price forward. Okay, so this is where we ended up. Okay, now our expectation is a higher low. Okay, we broke this. This is our new structure high. This is our higher low. This is the zone we're correcting from. Price must hold this. Okay, and here we have what appears to be some sort of news event. Okay, that's probably going to screw this up. It is unusual to have such a huge, violent candle at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. This is probably the FOMC. Okay. So now price breaks below here and produces a new structure low. Okay, so we can label this as a new structure low and another expectation failure. Okay, and now it looks like we're going to correct. What is our expectation? Our expectation is a lower high at this point. And it looks like we're trying to correct here. Okay, now see how angry these guys were. See how angry these guys were. Okay, were they able to continue down? No. Okay, this means something. We're not going to right now, jump to conclusions because I'm going to teach you all about that in the next lesson, which is called order flow. The next lesson from structure is order flow. Okay, but we expect nonetheless a lower high and a new structure low. Okay, weakness coming down. Break of short-term structure. Where are we? We're in a deep correction here. Complex correction. Okay, so now our expectation has to still remain a lower high and a new structure low. Okay. We're testing all these lows here, but we haven't been able to break them. Okay, our expectation is probably going to what? Fail. We can see that. It's clear as day. Okay? But what is our expectation? A new structure low. Can it be anything other than that? No. Why? Because this high has not been taken out. It probably will, but that is the expectation. There we go. Okay, we knew that this was probably going to fail, but we can't come to that conclusion until it fails. Let me pause the video 1 second. Okay, so we could have used all these swings to help us understand what was happening, and we did. I told you that the expectation was likely to fail. Okay, I knew that right here. Price should have made that new structure low here. So actually, it should have made it here. Had another chance to make it here. Had another chance to make it here. It was not able to get down here. So more than likely, with this much strength and volume, you can't get past that area. It's probably going to fail. Okay, so those are the things that you're going to learn in the order flow lesson next week that are going to help you. But we could have used all these expectations, but you would have kind of driven yourself a little crazy with this new structure high, short-term, higher low, new structure high, new structure low, lower high, failure, new structure high, new structure low, lower high, new structure low, new structure high. You would have driven yourself crazy in this short-term stuff when you could have just been much more productive and much more efficient in looking at the overall condition of the market, understanding the clear highs and lows, and having price follow those expectations. As you can see, it is not complicated. it is really simple and a really easy and great way to understand what the market should do moving forward without the benefit of hindsight. Okay, only a couple of expectations failed. This is another one that failed here. Okay, we had a higher low here. I want to keep these videos short. This was a higher low. Okay, and we achieved a new structure high here. Okay, so we've had 3 failures out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 failures. I mean 18, and so 16 divided by 18 equals 88% of the expectations played out. Okay, we only had 3 out of 18 failures. So we had 16 that played out out of 18. I'm sorry, 3, 15. 15 divided by 18 equals 83%. 83% of the expectations played out. Okay, that's extremely powerful, and a huge advantage to you as a trader in understanding moving forward what price is going to do. That is this lesson. I hope it had value to you. I want you to practice this. We're using the 15-minute chart on the Dow. I think we should stick to the 15-minute time frame. I know not all of you have access to tick data or tick charts. I prefer them. It makes this process and all processes easier because it is a true representation of price action, since it counts transactions. And but I will work with what most of you have to show you that it doesn't really matter whether you use tick charts, whether you use time-based charts, whether you use weekly charts, Renko, range bars. It doesn't matter. Okay, a chart's a chart. You read it the same way. The process never changes. It doesn't matter whether you trade gold, cotton, corn, cocoa puffs. Doesn't matter. A chart is a chart. Learn to embrace that fact. Learn to process the information as it is on the chart. Okay, and have those expectations. Use those expectations. Okay, this process, every lesson that we do from here on forward builds on the last. So it's going to make this lesson even better. Okay, the next one is going to be a little more difficult to process. Okay, we're going to talk about order flow. We're going to talk about strength and weakness and how far an expectation should go or should correct. Okay, so having said that, I hope this had value to you, and I apologize if there was too much noise in the background. I will try to get my my other device communicating with my computer properly. Not sure what happened, but that's technology for you. I'm rambling a little now, so let's get to the charts. Practice, and I want to see charts posted with this example, with how many succeeded, how many failed, okay? And I will address them. The ones that are 100%, I probably won't address. I'll address the ones that are that could use a little bit of help, okay? Thank you very much, and we'll look forward to seeing those charts. Take care.